Joining me is Sean Spicer, Donald Trump's first White House spokesman. Sean Spicer, great to see you. Donald Trump has cut short his time at the G7 meeting, which means our Prime Minister misses his scheduled meeting tomorrow, their very first. What's changed in his schedule that is ditching the G7 so quickly? Is it impatience with the forum, or is it this war? What is it?
Well, everything that I'm made aware of right now, and again, I can't say I've talked to the president or anyone, but my understanding is that it all has to do with what's going on in the Middle East. Obviously, we're on a razor's edge when it comes to Iran and Israel, and there's a lot of lives at stake, a lot of potential peace at stake. So I think that's where the president's attention should be right now, and I have a feeling most of the folks in the G7 are well aware of the current situation. How tenuous it is at best. As you know from public statements that the president's made on social media, he is determined to get a deal. The Iranians, surprisingly, and I'm a little skeptical of this, just to be completely upfront about it. But the Iranians, I think, are very concerned, or at least acting concerned, and want a deal. And I've never seen them beg to get back to the table as much as they have in the past 18 hours or so.
Well, it's interesting you point that out, because at the very same time that they're desperately doing that, you've had Donald Trump actually posting on Truth Social a warning to Iranians to get out of Tehran. What's that about?
Well, look, I mean, one, look, when it comes to Donald Trump, I think you always, the beauty of the way he negotiates is you don't know what's a threat and what's real. And that's what keeps people on edge. And right now, I think, again, this is just open source, but there's a very well-known understanding that if the U.S. supplies Israel with these bunker-busting bombs, and it was pointed out today that that BBB is very different than the big, beautiful bill, but if that happens, it's game over for Iran. They, I think, are fundamentally understand the threat that they face right now. They are one bomb away from this regime being extinguished. And there's a big difference between the leadership of Iran and the people of Iran, who I think largely understand how oppressed they are and would probably welcome regime change. And for those reasons, I think the current, it's funny, I asked somebody today who's going to, something about getting them back to the table. And they said, Sean, just remember, the people that are coming to the table this week are not the same people as last week, because those people are dead. And I think that really shows why Iran wants to get back. They recognize that they're not in the situation they were just a few days ago.
But this raises a really interesting thing, Sean. Trump has been claiming, well, he campaigned, he's against wars. Wars didn't break out in his first term. If he was there, there'd be no wars. Now it seems that he is behind Israel attacking Iran, might even join Israel's attack in Iran. What's going on? Is he for this war? Is he being dragged into this war? Is he pretending to be for a war that he didn't know was going to happen? What has changed his mind that is making these sounds like he could be behind it now?
Well, respectfully, I don't agree with you on that. This, to me, is a tactic. It's a tactic to achieve peace, to achieve a non-nuclear Iran. But he's playing hardball. And if you look at how he's operated all the time, he's not talking about putting U.S. troops on the ground or a specific regime change. He's making it very clear to Iran that we will give the further green light to Israel to make these things happen. That's I think, a very different tactic than most U.S. presidents in the past, which have led with U.S. intervention, led with U.S. munitions and weaponry and service members. What he's doing is making it very clear to Iran, you've backed me into a corner. I gave you an out. You kind of mocked this deal. You walked away from this deal. But I'm going to put it back on the table one more time for you, because now you have a much bigger understanding of what I'm allowing to happen.
This is actually putting him at odds with people claiming to speak for the MAGA base, the Make America Great Again base. People like Tucker Carlson, who campaigned for Donald Trump at the election, says the US should not be part of this war in Iran. Candace Owens, same thing. Trump has hit back at Carlson, posting that somebody please explain to kooky Tucker Carlson that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. But how worried would Donald Trump be about losing the MAGA base?
See, Andrew, this is a fallacy that the media, not you, because I know you've got your finger on this, but so many in America are trying to say, well, the MAGA base, look, there's a division of some people, and that's healthy, that's good. But you've got Mark Levin and Marjorie Taylor. I mean, it's all over the map. But here's where I think people are missing the point. If Trump wanted to get into a war, he could do it in 8 seconds. He's not. He's seeking an avenue which is non-destruction, not war, and saying to Iran, you have a choice. But for the Tucker Carlsons and some of the others who are going the complete opposite way, Trump's saying, what do you want me to do? Just let them develop a nuclear weapon so that then they could attack us? I'm giving them an option where there isn't destruction and potential regime change if they come back to the table. That is America first at its core.
Except, of course, it has to be backed by a credible threat of force. And I think...
and I think it is.
We will be seeing... all the better. And I must say, I thoroughly endorse what he said about Tucker Carlson. The man is a kook. And I'm so glad that it's finally being called out. Sean Spicer, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Always appreciate your time.